Guys, what is up? Pilot Manny here with the RC Plane Addict. I want to welcome you to my channel, a place where I get to share my passion and addiction for flying these beautiful RC planes. You're going to love what I got for you today. It's been a while, but we got an unboxing. So I'm going to take my time with it. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to set it up. And I'll even show you how I set my radio up with all the rates. So hang in there if you want to see how to do this thing. If you want to see what's going on with this plane. And please, hit me up with any questions you have. I'm going to try to break up the video into segments. So if you only want to watch the unboxing, that's fine. If you only want to watch how I set up my radio, that's fine. You do you. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get into this thing. As always, you want to check your box. Make sure that there is no crazy damage. I got a little dent there. It doesn't seem like anything to be worried about. That looks good. Everything else looks pretty good on that side. On the bottom, looks like there's a little hole there. And maybe a little, nothing to worry about. No big holes. We like that. We like no big holes. All right, so I got all my stuff here. I have my little alpha tool. I got a bunch of screwdrivers, some tape, my box of just nuts and bolts, and a pair of pliers there. Hopefully that's all we'll need. Open this nice and slowly. Oh man, I gotta tell you, every time I open these things, it feels like Christmas. I get super excited. This is like all good stuff. By the way, this was definitely a Father's Day gift. Just kind of got here a little later, but that's all right. Better late than never, right? All right, let's see it. Let's see it. Yes, there it is. The Cirrus SR22T 1.5 meter. Scare airplane for intermediate to experienced pilots. Oh boy, I actually don't even think I have any planes that have said that before. That's a new one for me. This one has advanced electronic flight, so that's pretty cool, and it includes the exclusive Spectrum technology. So this is the bind and fly version. I did not get the plug and play. I wanted everything, and to be honest with you, the price difference was like 30 bucks. I mean, if you get your own receiver that has smart and safe technology in it, you're gonna pay $80 for it. So for $30 more to have bind and fly, I mean, I say go for it. So let's just take a look here. All of this is in language I can't read. Oh, here's an age recommendation. Not for children under 14. This is not a toy. You gotta love that. All right, let's slide this box out of the way. Oh, by the way, I also have here on the side my my stand, so I can just kind of put my parts there as I'm building. Get rid of that. All right, let's see. So inside of the box, we have the motor, the ESC, servos, receiver, transmitter, battery, no, and charger. So it looks like for the bind and fly, I have pretty much everything except for the transmitter, battery, and charger. This is not the ready to fly version. So that's okay. Actually, I don't even think they sell this in the ready to fly version. Only bind and fly and plug and play, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see here. Just a few things we have. We have our 3-bladed prop. This is officially licensed Cirrus Generation 6 aircraft, factory installed LED interior cabin lights. Oh, landing and navigation lights. That's really cool. High power 3 to 4S capable brushless motor, and a 60 amp smart ESC. That is awesome. I love that. Durable composite reinforced fully modeled EPO airframe, Spectrum Avian 60 amp ESC with telemetry and reversing capabilities. Nice. And then it says here bind and fly basic version only. And then of course it's got your AS3X, which is the stability and precision of AS3X technology, and the safe, right? If you want, it says optional use for safe flight envelope. So yeah, you can, I'll have this here blown up, so if you guys want to read it in your own time, we can do that. All right, let's get into this bad boy. I'm really pumped to see it. All right. So as with all of these planes, there's mostly foam in here, and that's okay. We want solid packing, and from Horizon usually they do a great job with that. Slide this out nice and easily. Whoop, almost lost on that one. Wow, this is becoming a process. Come on, buddy. kind of stomped on me. Oh, there we go. Gotta love high ceilings. Do not like the chandelier though. All right, I think we're out. So I'm assuming this is the top here. Whew, wow, that was a little harder than I thought it was gonna be. All right, start cutting this bad boy open. Slowly as you go. Yeah, they definitely package these things well. I mean, in the end, there is more foam in packaging than plain in here, and that's the truth of it. Nice. All right, let's see. It looks like we have our addendum. Please note the CG for your Eflite should be 53 millimeters plus or minus 4 millimeters, not 63 millimeters as stated in the manual. Good to know. Thank you. Ooh, look at this. Nice bagged. That looks good. I love how they give you the scan codes there. That's pretty cool. So you can kind of, guys, also I want to apologize for like my wrist here. It's disgusting. I got poison ivy and I'm just trying to let it air out. So yeah, my arm's not going to fall off. It's just whatever. All right. So I love kind of like looking at these, and Eflite does a really great job at kind of just laying everything out and having pictures to go along with, you know, the description. Yeah, they make things so easy. I love it. All right, we're gonna get to this soon enough. We're gonna get to that soon enough. Let's take a look at everything in here. All right, so it looks like here's one half. Wow, this wing is feather light. I'm not even lying to you. It is crazy light. Look at how beautiful that is. It's got decals already on it. Yes, it does have flaps. Oh, I like those hinges. That's pretty cool. That's solid right there. Strong. And then it looks like it's got, yeah, it looks like it's got a similar hinge style for the ailerons too. Covered up the servos there. Cool, look, it's even got like these little winglets there. I think that's an antenna, but that's pretty cool. Nice LEDs on the side and on the leading edge. Pretty cool. I love how also the wing shape is. Believe it or not, the Apprentice has something very similar where like the leading edge kind of has like this step, and I think that really helps with the stall characteristics. Oh yeah, look at this. So it's got the easy plug, and there's like no leads. So that is so nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. That is really, really cool. Oh man, all right, so we're getting right into it. Here's the other wing half. I'm not even kidding you. This is a very, very light wing. It is crazy light. Yeah, this is all plastic here. It looks solid. I love that. So much lights. Pretty cool. It's gonna be great for like dusk and dawn flying. Look at that. That is awesome. Solid linkages. Pretty cool. Doesn't look like anything needs to be adjusted. Huh. So like normally you would have like the arms, right? You would put them on yourselves and you would kind of twist the arm there to, I guess, get the proper alignment. This looks like it's already factory installed. Like there's like nothing to do. And look at this. You don't even see the servo for the flap. It's just buried in there. And then there's just a little arm sticking out. And then you have like these hinges here. That is really cool. Great attention to detail. I love it. All right, those wings look good. I mean, look at the span on that. That's a decent wingspan. That's a decent wingspan. All right, we're gonna put these guys off to the back here. Let's get into the main event. Packaged very nicely. Oh yeah, look at this. Metal on the inside of the landing gear. Nice big wheels. I love the wheel pants. Look how cool those are. Look, reinforced with the metal. Yeah, they did a great job with this. This looks solid. That looks like it's gonna come together very, very fast. All right. I'm dying to see this fuselage. This thing looks beautiful. Let's see if I can get this part out. It just slides right up. All right. Still doesn't want to come up. It's interesting. What is holding you down, friend? Wow. There is like no weight to this fuselage. I'm not even lying to you. This is incredibly light. Look how beautiful this is. Oh man, check out the interior. It even has like all the navigation panels on the stickers and everything. This guy looks like he's ready to go. Look how just solid that is. That is great. This is interesting. The motor's covered. Or maybe something needs to be done there. We'll have to get into that later. Maybe they covered it up for packaging purposes. That's interesting. Huh. It's got a light here on the belly. A little loose though. I'm not certain about that. I hope there's no damage to that light. Or maybe the light's supposed to be like that. Have a little bit of play. I don't know. That's interesting. It looks like this is access here to, what is that? Yeah, maybe there's servos in there. So there's access to the servos for the elevator and the rudder. Beautiful. That looks really cool. Looks really cool. I'm interested about this part here. There's like foam there. I wonder if I could just pull that out. Let me see. Yeah, it's just a little cover for the motor that's buried in there. Really cool. Look at that. The motor mount's actually in the front and the motor's behind it. That's interesting. All right. I respect that. I'm gonna put this bad boy here. Let her rest. That looks awesome. That looks so cool. All right, let's see what else we got in this bad boy. Keep digging it all out. Okay, so it looks like I have to flip this bad boy around to get to the bottom. Double-sided box. All right, so here's my spar. Looks like my wing spar. All right, you know what? Instead of tearing, let's cut this. Do it right. Oh. Double wing spar. Probably for the elevator, right? Pretty cool. All right. See what else we got here. So it looked like all the parts to put the plane together was on the underside here. Yeah. All right, so here's the elevator. It looks like it comes in two parts, right? It's got, I think those are nylon hinges on the inside. Yeah, you can see right through it. It's pretty flexible though, I'll tell you that. It's cool, it's a full elevator, right? Comes all the way up to the edges. Pretty sweet. That looks good. That looks good. Ooh, look at this propeller. Propeller with the spinner, man, that is nice. That is a beefy propeller, I'm not even gonna lie. Oh boy, I probably should have bought a spare. That is, yeah, that's a beefy propeller. Pretty cool, everything's here, nice. Looks cool. Here is the other half of the wing, or excuse me, the landing gear, the mains. Or no, maybe, no, that's the front, that's not part of the mains. This is part of the mains. There you go, I forget, it's a tricycle landing gear. Nice, very nice. Let's see what else. I'm not certain this is anything, it might be just. And here's my bag of goodies. All right. Oh, look, they even gave a for the binding, the bind plug. Very cool. Nice. Great, put that off to the side. And I think that's it. I don't see really anything else in here. Always check the box completely. Yeah, that looks like it was just maybe holding its, I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? That may have been part of the structure for the... We're gonna leave it in there. We're gonna leave it in there. I don't think we need it, to be honest with you. But if the instructions call for it, I'll pull it out. I'm not gonna throw anything out yet. Put this over here on the floor with the rest of it. And I think that's it. This is pretty cool. This is a good looking plane. So I don't have my 4-cell batteries yet. I have a 2200 down here that I'm gonna use to kind of bind everything up once it's assembled. And yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for one part from Amazon, which are my adapters, because I believe this is an IC3, but you can also use an EC3 connector, and this is definitely not any of those. That's an XT60. So I need an adapter, and those are easy enough to come from Amazon. All right, so there's the unboxing, there's everything. Let's get into the build. So I think a good starting place would be on page 4, right into it. Before we even start building the plane, let's set up the remote. And I'm gonna go straight from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. I guess that's how you're supposed to read it. But again, it's really all a matter of preference. If you want to start with the build and then get into the programming of the remote, that's completely up to you. So a good thing about this manual is that it actually starts with the setup of the remote, and it gives you the types of remotes that you can set up. So I'm going to set up my NX8, as you see. So the first thing I'm going to do is power on my transmitter, and I'm going to use my scroll wheel to select system setup and then choose yes. And it's going to ask me that question. Of course, I'm going to say yes. Then I'm going to go to model select, and I'm going to choose a new model. Whoop. So sorry about that. Let's go back. Add a new model. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to check my airplane type, and I'm going to create that. Takes a few seconds to kind of program itself, and now we are good. So we're going to give the model name. That's a really good place to start. But also make sure that your model type is an airplane. So that's definitely what we want. And then our model name, we're just going to give this guy the Cirrus. So it's model 23, which you can believe it or not, that's pretty crazy. So C. IRR, the U to the S. And then I'll kind of give the space here. I guess we can give the whole name here, which is pretty cool. And this is going to be the SR22T. All right, there we go. And then I'm just gonna hit back. And we're done with that boy. Okay, so our model is done, and then we are gonna go and just make sure our aircraft type is all set up. So this isn't really in here, but we just wanna make sure that our wing is one aileron, one flap. It's kind of interesting that actually they don't have it here listed in the book, but yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, and whoop, and of course our tail is normal. All right. We don't have to worry about really any of this stuff. It's not in the book, so we're just gonna kind of go back and get out of that. Whoops. Okay, from the main, we are gonna go to the function list, and we're gonna look for our dual rates and expo. So there's DR and expo, all right? It's telling me to assign switch F for the high rates and the low rates, but I kind of do things slightly different when it comes to my ailerons. I actually use the E switch for my ailerons. So I'm just gonna go here, and again, this is a matter of preference. You can use really any switch you want. I use the E switch, and it's telling me for my ailerons, the high rate, which is gonna be the top, is gonna be 100%, and my expo is gonna be 10. I gotta be honest, I think that's kind of low. I'm gonna go 30, and I know you guys are gonna be like, that's really high, but you know what? That's what I'm used to on all of my planes, and it's just something that I do as a matter of preference. Again, this is basically gonna boil down how you fly. I know it says to do, I know I said I was gonna do this by the book, but you know what? This is kind of where, you know, experience is gonna have me deviate a little bit from the manual. And yeah, it's gonna soften my sticks, but in the end, I think I'm gonna be fine. So I'm gonna go one switch down, and this is gonna be my low rates. And my low rates is going to be at 70%. And again, I'm just taking these numbers from the book, and my expo, they want 5%. I think that's way too low. I'm gonna bring it to 30% as well. And again, some people don't even fly with expo. So this is like, I guess, where I'm most comfortable. And then my third switch, I'm just gonna kind of go down here and make it nothing, okay? So I have 70 and 100, and position 3 is just 0. So I'm gonna kind of go up, and I'm gonna go down to now my elevator. My elevator I always put on the C switch. So my elevator, I'm going, whoops. All right. So for the high rates is 100% on the elevator, and they want 10% expo. Again, I'm gonna go 30 on that one. And then my low rates, they want 70 on my elevator. So we'll do that. And they want 5% again. That's just way too low in my book. So 30 it is. All right, then I'm gonna go to the third switch here, and it's gonna be just nothing. Perfect. All right, so my dual rates are all set up. Lastly, I'm gonna go to my rudder. And it wants my rudder at high rates on 100. Oh, rudder is gonna be on this switch here. Again, this is all a matter of preference. If you feel so comfortable, you can put all of your expo and dual rates on one switch, so they can all just be high rate, low rates. Again, it's a matter of preference. If you like controlling them all independently like I do, and I have the switches for it, then just go for it. So I'm using switch F for my rudder. And this is, again, what I do for all of my models, and you really should practice to do this with all of your models. Don't start mixing up switches between models. It just gets really confusing. It can be dangerous. So high rates are 100% on the book, and they want 10%, it looks like. I'm going with 30. And then on my low rates, they want 70. So it looks like they kind of just went with 170 for all three. I'm going 30 all around. All right, and I'm gonna just turn my, whoops, second switch off. My third position off, I should say. Okay, so we are all set now. So we have high rates, low rates on the rudder. And so now the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of get back out of this, and we are gonna go into the flap systems. And the switch for my flaps is generally the D switch. That's where I like it. Again, this is my preference. The book wants the flap systems on the D switch, which just happens to be that way, so that's good. And whoop. So position 1, or excuse me, the normal position is going to be at 100%. So we'll just kind of boost that up to 100. And then it doesn't have anything on the, I take it back. It has 6% on the elevator. And this is, apologize, not 100, but negative 100. Okay, the mid is going to be 0% and with 6% elevators. So it looks like when we land, we're gonna land with 100%. When we, this is a little interesting here. I'm trying to read this correctly, but it says normal is 100%, mid is 0%, and with 6% elevator. And then the landing is 100% with 10% elevator. Okay, so our second switch here, which is position 1, this is gonna be, I guess, your takeoffs, right? So that'll be at 0%. And then it looks like they want 6% elevator on that. Okay, so there is some mixing of flaps to elevator. And then when we land, we want this at 100. And our mix to elevator is going to be 10%. Okay, it has speeds here, and I don't want them linked. I want them independent. In the book, it has a speed of 2 seconds. So what making them independent does is it controls the speed for each position setting. For example, if it's in this position and they're coming up, I really want the speed to come up faster than they normally would. So like 1 second is pretty good for me. When we have our landing gear, which comes down, or excuse me, our takeoff flaps, which is gonna come down, it's gonna be slower, like a nice gradual kind of thing here. So I'm gonna make this about 3 seconds. And then likewise, if I want landing, I don't want this abrupt drop. I want it nice and slow. So I'm gonna give it 3 seconds down to landing. And that's gonna be my setup. The book wants 2 seconds. Again, this is a matter of my preference. So when they come up, they're gonna come up in 1 second. It's gonna take 2 seconds to get to that position. Excuse me, 3 seconds. It's gonna take 3 seconds to get to that position. And if you watch closely, you can watch the flaps here kind of move about. So you see how fast it moved going to the 0 position, and then how it moves a little slower going to takeoff flaps, and the same speed to landing flaps. And that's what we want. All right, flap systems are done. And I have now finished following the NX series transmitter setup per the manual. So now let's get to putting the plane together. All right, so let's jump into the manual here. And I'm just gonna go step by step and do everything like I normally would. I haven't seen anything, just so you know. I'm literally gonna be working out how I build this thing. So, you know, if I run into any hiccups and you wanna see it, or you plan on getting this plane yourself and you want to see if there's going to be anything you need to work through, learn from my mistakes, I suppose, right? All right, so it looks like the model assembly starts with the landing gear. So, okay, the main landing gear. We want to install the landing gear assemblies A into the mounting locations on the sides of the fuselage as shown. All right, so we're going to flip this bad boy over. All right. Looks like okay, slides right in just like that. Yeah, just like that. Easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, done. And then it looks like secured landing gear in place with the machined times or M3 times 8 screws. As shown. So it looks like, get these guys out here. So there's gonna be 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's these guys here. And there's 2 on each side. So that's easy enough to do. Yep. Alright, put these bad boys in. What am I doing? I'm putting together my plane.
Are you filming it?
I am.
Is it mute?
It's brand spanking right out of the box.
No, is it mute?
No, it's not mute.
gonna mute it?
No, I'm not gonna mute it. Everyone must know what we're saying. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So far, so good. This is coming together easy. I feel like I should put a timer on this. Not like you should see how long it takes, but maybe it's not such a bad idea. How long does it take to assemble if you have not read the instructions yet? I mean, I'm literally doing this with you. This is not something I normally do. Or maybe it is. I don't even know. Last time I did a build video. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. Good and good. Sweet. Okay, so the mains are on. Next thing we're gonna do is work on the nose landing gear. So this is gonna be a little tricky, so just stay with me. I'll show you how to do it really easy. Slide this forward, grab these tabs here on the sides and just pop this up. These magnets are strong. Don't be afraid of breaking anything. Just give it a little force, okay? And then grab your arm. Now this arm has a set screw in there, and what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna just screw this set screw all the way until it stops. And the reason for this is a brand new arm, and sometimes the plastic can bind on the set screw, giving you a full sense of, I guess, secureness on the rod. And so just make sure that goes all the way through so there's no like holding you up, and then undo the whole thing, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your landing gear here, find the back, that flat side that they filed down, and then just kind of slide it up through without putting it into the plane, because what you want to do is you want to just make sure that when it comes together, it binds and it really just holds tight, okay? So then you're just going to kind of find that little flat spot and then just screw it down and just make sure that she's nice and tight and that there's no slop. And that's what you want, okay? So it's nice and tight. And then you can kind of just undo it again, just so it slides out nice and easily. You may have to give it a little bit of a turn or two, and then she should come right out. All right. Once that's out, you're gonna find your Z-bend, and then you're gonna put it in the outermost hole, okay? So the outermost hole is gonna be this hole right here. So the Z-bend is kind of just tucked away back there. You're gonna kind of just insert it from the bottom and flip it down, okay? And then you have it ready to receive now the rod for the front landing gear. Go underneath, find that nice little hole right there, push it up and through. All right. And then basically have it slide right down into the collar. Make sure that your wheel is pushed all the way up, and you could just be holding it from underneath, okay? And then have it as center as you can get it. Don't worry about having it too off. It kind of finds its own center. And then screw it down. Okay, don't tighten it too much. You might strip your screw, and then just kind of wiggle it with your hands, and you'll see that this is pretty locked in. And then what I like to do is just grab my pliers and then just take it from the top here and then just wrench it, okay, to really set that screw in so it's not going anywhere. And now when I turn the wheel, the arm turns with it. So I know that that's a really secure connection. I'm gonna leave this open, I'm gonna flip this plane over, and I'm gonna get to the horizontal stab. Okay, so it looks like it wants us to take this joiner rod here, and we're gonna put it right through the fuselage. Then we'll take our two stabs, and we'll slide them into place. What I want you to do is before you join them, pay special attention to these little plastic pieces right here. This is where you're going to secure it with these set screws into the fuselage, okay? So you're gonna wanna line up those holes the best you can. All right, that's nice and in there. And it looks like my holes are nice and lined up and ready to receive my set screws. Your set screws are gonna be really, really small. I gotta look for them now. I know I tucked them in here somewhere. And they have pointed ends, so you know those are the ones you want. So there are these super tiny ones, and they're pointed, okay, because they're self-tapping. So we'll just use those. It's beautiful because everything's Phillips head, so you don't need like a lot of tools. I only really have two different sizes of Phillips head, one small and one slightly bigger, and that's it. It's pretty easy, and you can see it's It's coming together nicely. So we're gonna kind of just screw this all the way down. That feels good. All right, and then we'll get the other one. Wherever I put it. There we go. And we'll screw this one down as well. Nice and tight, okay? Then you're going to join your push rod to the arm. Just unclip it and pull out the holding clip, the fastening clip, and then we are going to join this to the, and this is really strange, it's actually the innermost hole on this one. So just to confirm, I'm looking at this here, and it says, insert the end of the push rod with a 90-degree bend into the control horn and insert the push rod into the hole in the push rod keeper. Rotate the push rod keeper and press into place. So it doesn't say where it is, but in this indicator, it's pointing to the innermost hole. And to confirm, they have the control horn and servo arm settings. And if I look at my elevator, it's definitely pointing to that innermost hole. So, all right, if that's what they want, that's what they get. So we are going to take this bad boy and we're going to take it to the innermost hole. I'm going to insert it into, I guess, the push rod keeper, they call it. It's kind of a weird name. So it receives it into the hole it's in, and then we're going to listen to the snap. Boom. That's in. That's not going anywhere. I really love this. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's in there. Okay, so we're done with that. It wants us to do some nose gear centering. So it says here with the radio system powered on and the rudder centered, we want the rudder trim centered and check that the nose gear is centered. So it says the best way to check that the nose gear rudder are centered is by rolling the model on a smooth surface. I haven't bound this yet to my receiver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some binding right now, and then we will, I guess, check the nose gear and make sure that she rolls. So there's this like random wire here that says leaf plug in while initiating TX bind. So you don't have to like, get down in there. You just kind of put the plug into this guy here, which is pretty handy. I love how they put these like little servo extensions to make things easy. Okay, so that's good. I went ahead and I have these adapters because honestly, I find the batteries for the smart batteries to be really expensive. So I'm going with these like pliers, and this is just a 2200 3-cell, and I have these adapters from Amazon, which are XT60 males to EC3 females, and those fit the IC3 connections, okay? So they kind of just go right in, boom. Okay. Also guys, just for safety, keep your props off. I know you're like quick to do these types of things, but just leave it off so no one gets hurt. Obviously it's looking for my remote, so let's get our remote out and let's do some binding. I've already set up the remote, so it is ready to go. One thing I am going to do before I bind it, which the book didn't tell you to do, which I'm kind of surprised, is I'm gonna set up the throttle cut. So my throttle cut switch is always back here. It's the H switch, okay? So my throttle cut switch is set, so I don't have to worry about that. And then later on, we'll get into the timer. Okay, so this is throttle cut, and this is on. So it's throttle cut right now, and then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go into this here, and I'm gonna come down, and I'm gonna go to bind, okay? And bind. I'm gonna stand away from it, we're gonna listen. Done. That easy. I love it. And it's got some telemetry on here, which is pretty cool. It's got a flight log. It's got my voltage. And yeah, it's even looking at my ESC, my volts, my motor, my temperature. I love telemetry. It's pretty cool. And the status. So, and the AS3X settings, in case you need to play with that, the safe limits. the gyroscope, the G-force. This is crazy. The avian programming. So yeah, you can get pretty, whoop. Oh God, now I'm like going crazy with this thing. So you can get pretty crazy with it. And all I did was just roll on the bar for telemetry. Okay, that's all set. I'm just gonna make sure that everything is turning in the right direction. So, wow, that rudder is barely moving. That is very strange. Wonder if something's bound up here. It sounds like something is not right, I'll be honest with you. My elevator's working. Oh, here we go. I apologize. No, it's working fine. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on the floor and we're just gonna roll it. And everything is centered right now. And we're gonna see if she goes forward. And if there's any adjustments to do, I'll unhatch it from the bottom and I'll play with it there. Apologize about the mess. My daughters love to leave a little mess around. Let's get some light, shall we? All right, here we go. Will she roll forward straight? I mean, I don't know about you, but that seems pretty straight to me. I know I was kind of off the boards. Let's do the board test. I'll run parallel to the boards. It looks like she's turning a little to the right. I'm gonna push it one more time, just to double check here. No, she's rolling pretty straight. She's rolling pretty straight indeed. I mean, not enough to want to correct it. Yeah, she's rolling pretty straight like that. Do you guys see this light? Look, there's even an interior light. How crazy is that? Light in the front. This thing is so awesome. I'm really pumped about this. Okay, so that all looks great. Let's go ahead and unplug it. And let's move on with our installation here. I'm going to turn off my receiver, or excuse my transmitter. I don't think we need it anymore right now, so we'll just get rid of that. Okay, onwards, here we go. So it looks like now we're onto the wings. Oh yes, this thing's gonna start looking like a plane now. I'm gonna flip this bad boy over again. Let's see here. Well, the nose, I guess, to us, probably the best thing to do. Okay, so it looks like we have a joiner bar, the center spar, and we're using these bigger screws with the flat ends. So those are the M3s by 8 millimeters. So we'll kind of put it right in there. I love how there is these quick connects. It's gonna make it so easy to take these wings off when you're at the field. I gotta be honest with you. I'm just gonna line them up and push that right in and just make sure that those holes are centered. It looks like the back hole seems to be the hardest one to center. The front hole seems to be all right. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on the back hole last and just put in this one first, since that seems to be the easiest to deal with. Oop. I don't know when she falls off the stand like that. I'm not gonna tighten it all the way. I just want it in there so that I can pivot off that point. And then I'm gonna kind of apply a little pressure here. I'm gonna slot my screw in. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is from this point, I should be able to kind of bring it in. Yep, there we go. Perfect. And then what I'll do is I'll tighten this one first, and then I'll tighten the front one last. Beautiful. Okay, on to the next one. Slot the spar in, go nice and slow with it. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay, and just kind of hold the fuselage and just wiggle. It's gonna be tight, guys, and that's okay. Just wiggle it in, okay? Don't be afraid to apply a little bit of pressure. Grab your screws, make sure everything's lined up, and it is. I'm gonna pop in the first one first, just like before. I'm not gonna tighten it. And then I'm gonna use that as a pivot. And push this a little bit towards the rear, line it up. Right, should fall right in. I'm gonna hold a little pressure, pushing back on the plane and holding the fuselage on my armpit, and screw it, and it finds its center. Okay, and then from there, I'll tighten it down. I'll do this one as well. Last. And that's it, those wings are in. That looks solid. How easy was that? That was pretty cool. Okay, pretty cool. So let's see here. It looks like it wants us to do some control surface centering. So after assembly, you know what, before I even do this, I just want to show this to you. This is the bottom hatch to access the elevator, the rudder, and the adjustment, the fine adjustment for your front gear here, should you need it, okay? So really everything's magnetic. You just have to pull up, and then there's everything right there, okay? Here are the set screws for the control rods. This is for the front gear. This is for the rudder, and then this is for the elevator, should you ever need to make any fine adjustments, okay? All right, moving forward, control surface centering. So after we've done this, we are going to confirm that the surfaces are centered. The model must be powered up and bound to the transmitter, keep the throttle at 0. When it's enabled, safe mode is active at powered up. AS3X mode is activated when throttle is raised above 25% for the first time after being powered on. It is normal for the control surfaces to respond to aircraft movement if the aircraft is in AS3X safe modes or safe modes. So we need to verify the trims, sub-trims on the transmitter at 0. We're gonna power up the model in AS3X mode and leave the throttle at 0. The control surfaces need to be centered. If they are not centered, loosen the screws in the quick connect linkage on the servo horn using a Phillips screwdriver. And then we're gonna slide the push rod into the quick connector to change the length of the linkage between the servo arm and the control horn so the control surface is centered. And then we apply thread lock compound to the screw threads and tighten the screws to secure the push rod at the desired length, okay? So that's only if you need to make adjustments, guys. All right, so let's put this model on a flat surface. I don't want it in here. And then we're gonna power it up. And we're gonna see if all of our flight surfaces are neutral. So get my transmitter out again. This is exciting. I'm really pumped to fly this thing. One thing I do need to check is that it's in AS3X mode or 3X mode. So let's see here. So here's installing, so this is the bind section here, and then the safe select and disabling. When safe select, disabling the aircraft is always in AS3X mode. With safe select enabled, the aircraft will be in safe select mode at the time. Or you can assign a switch to toggle between safe select and AS3X modes. So let's do safe select enabled using the bind plug. So it says install the bind plug, lower the throttle, connect the power. I'm gonna, that orange flashing, we're gonna remove the bind plug, and then we're gonna bind to the transmitter. And then it says safe select enabled. The control surfaces cycle back and forth twice with a slight pause at neutral position every time the receiver is powered on. So right now my safe select is disabled the way I bound. So my bind plug is still in. I'm gonna connect this bad boy. It's waiting to bind. Okay, the orange light is flashing. I'm going to remove the bind plug, okay, because I want safe and select enabled, right? I'm gonna go down to bind, and I'm going to bind it. Did you see how it twitched twice? Because it twitched twice, that means that I am now in safe select. Okay, so one thing I do notice right away is that this guy is slightly down. This is nice and level, this is nice and level. This is nice and neutral, same as that. But that aileron, I'm not too crazy about that. Yeah, definitely not too crazy about that. Let's just see one thing here. I'm gonna kind of slide this into this part, just so she doesn't move anything. I'm just curious to see if, yes, that's what I thought. Okay, so right now safe is on. I know safe is on because it's fighting me on my direction. So it looks like we need to turn safe off. So safe select designation for bind and fly. So once safe select is enabled, I can choose to fly it in safe mode full-time or assign a switch. So any switch on channel 5 through 9 can be used. So I like to normally use my gyros on this switch here. So we're gonna use that to set that up. So it says here, to assign a switch, we're gonna power on a transmitter, we're gonna power on the aircraft, we're gonna hold both transmitter sticks to the inside bottom corners and toggle the desired switch 5 times quickly. Full up and full down, okay? The control surfaces of the aircraft will move, indicating the switch has been selected. Repeat the process to assign a different switch or to deactivate the current switch. So, again, the tip says to channel monitor, verify channel movement. So, I'm gonna hold my switches down after I power this on. And then I'm going to flip this 5 times, right? Okay, so here we go. We're gonna plug you in. I'm gonna hold this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're in business. So I know it's working because when I toggle my switch here, I see my control surfaces move, watch. Okay, so let's just check this. So this looks like I'm in safe. Everything is moving against me. I'm gonna flip my switch. Yeah, and that is AS3X mode. Okay, there it goes. So that's how you designate a switch. So again, this is safe is on. And I know it is because I see my surfaces fighting me. Okay. And then this is AS3X mode. Nothing really happens here. Okay. It's interesting because you would expect them to kind of move a little bit more. I wonder if it's toggled to my gain switch. This is all the way down. I'm gonna turn it all the way up. Let's see how yeah, nothing really moves on this. It's kind of interesting. Maybe. I don't hear anything moving in AS3X mode. Safe mode, for sure. This thing is twitching all over the place. But this one, nothing's happening. We'll have to kind of look at that. So forward programming with safe select setup. So with the transmitter bound to the receiver, we're gonna power on. We assign a switch to safe that is not already used by using any open channel. We're gonna set H throttle cut. We've already done that. We're gonna power on the aircraft, and then we're gonna go to the function list. Okay, and then we're gonna go to model setup. Forward programming. Gyro settings. Okay, and now it says safe select to enter the menu. So now I'm doing forward programming on this. Okay, so safe is on. Yeah, so here it looks like my AS3X mode is off. So it says set safe to the channel. I want safe to be on, and then set AS3X and safe on or off as desired for each switch. So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn AS3X on. So here's flight mode 1, and it says safe is on. Here is flight mode 2, and it says that AS3X is on and safe is off. Okay, and here is channel 3. And everything is, and then channel 3, it looks like everything is on. Well, AS3X is on and safe is off. Okay, so there we go. So my fault, I totally forgot I had to put this up to 25% to enable AS3X. So I'm just gonna unarm it. Whoops. Get back in, everything should be good. Okay. So safe mode, AS3X. And she's working. Oh yeah. And I turned this to gyro off. So I can feel how the plane flies with no gyro. And that's really cool about the safe select. You can have gyro, full gyro with safe. You could have just the AS3X, and then you could turn it completely off. And that's what I've done here. So, okay, I think we got this thing dialed in pretty good. The only thing I'm concerned about is this one here. That is definitely not level. So we're gonna put it on the stand, flip it upside down, and see if we can deal with that. Okay. So, let's get this bad boy. Oop. Upside down here. Yeah, everything looks really level. I don't know why this one is kind of out of whack. Actually, it's not that one, it's this one. This one's really out of whack. Really out of whack. Okay, so easy enough to do. There's a set screw here. So I'm just gonna take my little screwdriver, loosen it up. I'm gonna level it. It's probably good to have something flat. Hold on, just 1 second. Oh, let's see, we use this? No, it's probably not a good idea. Yeah, that works. I'll tighten it down. All right. That looks pretty good. And we'll come over here and we'll just make sure this one is level as well. That looks pretty good too. Flaps. Nice and slow. A little more. All the way down. That looks really good too. Perfect. Let's flip it around. Let's take a look at it one more time. Oh God. I'll just put her flat. And that looks pretty neutral. Everything looks pretty good. This one may be a hair up. Yeah. Looks like this one's a hair up now. Well, they've got a lot of travel. Look at all that travel on the 100%. 70% is not too bad. 20% on the elevator. Pretty good. All right, I'm just gonna center this a little bit better. Let's see here. Maybe I could do it this way. I know, it's not a perfect science, guys. Just gonna kind of lower this just a little bit. Maybe just a slight warp in the wing, maybe. I don't know. Hope not. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm just gonna go around and make sure all my set screws are good and tight. I love the lights on this plane. They're just like all over. Okay, that's pretty good. And I know those clevises are good and tight. What I will do is unplug it and just make sure that the set screws for the elevator and rudder are tight as well. And I'm gonna access that point underneath the plane, like I showed you guys before I get into anything else. All right, let's flip this plane over really quick. So far, I'm pretty blown away with the technology in this plane. I only have one other plane that has this much technology in it, and that's the Avanti. And I bought the Safe Select receiver for it. That was like an $80 receiver. I do not recommend it, just because it's so expensive. But I mean, if you have the means, go for it. It was my first real expensive plane, so I like really wanted to kind of invest the money in it, and I have not been disappointed thus far. It is really good. Okay, all the set screws are solid, they're in. Let's move on with the installation. Oh man, you guys are probably like cringing at how just messy everything is here. I'm sorry guys. Normally I'm not this sloppy. Well, today I am. Okay, onwards. Onwards. So the last thing we left off on was making sure that everything is level. The nose gear is centered, the control surfaces are centered. So now the only thing that's left to do is to kind of put on all the scale accessories, which is totally optional, but if you're a big scale buff and you want this looking like the plain Angelina Jolie flies, then go for it. Get all those accessories out and start plugging away. So we got some of these, we got some of these. I don't really think I have, oh here, I got this guy here. Almost forgot about this one. I'm looking for more screws. I don't know if I have any more screws running around here. No, line plugs, nothing in there. Yeah, so that's, not certain how I'm gonna secure all these down. Oh, you know what? There's a bunch of little screws in here. I guess we could do that. All right, so let's do the antenna up top first. Seems to be the easiest one to do. So I'm just gonna flip you around. Looks like this guy here. Kind of just buttons down like that, all right. Yep, and then I'm just using the self-tapping screws that I have here. It says 6, but I only have 4, which is kind of strange. Well, I guess we'll get there when we get there. Oh, you know what? Maybe because I already used 2 of them, right, for the elevator. Okay. Nice. It looks like we have these 2 kind of things on the bottom. So everything else is on the bottom. I'll flip you around again, friend. I gotta be honest, this kind of came together pretty quickly considering everything I've gone through here. So for this one, I believe I have to screw it in from the bottom. So yeah, just remove it. Get that set screw in there. And screw it in. I have no idea what all these antennas are for. If you guys know, put it in the comments below. Educate me a little, I guess. Why a plane needs so many antennas is beyond me. Beautiful. Okay, onwards. Looks like I got these 2 little things here. So they look like they kind of go on the bottom. So I think, I must be doing something terribly wrong here. Oh yeah. It's definitely not for that one. That one is for this one. And we'll just screw them in from the side, I suppose. Oh, it sounds like the troops are back. Well, that's just about it, guys. So stay tuned for the maiden. It's gonna be a good one. It's getting better, believe it or not. It's getting better. How was the Palisades Mall?
Can you not do it? I got this little pad for Ellie.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I get to. And then I got Mom. Okay, I'm gonna go. Yeah, this amazing outfit.
That's a really cool outfit. I like it.
Sing two?
No, we already watched it. You want to watch it again?
Yeah, I liked it.
I should have videoed it. So hard in that car.
Sing 2 is a good movie, I'm not gonna lie.
Why would you do that? She was like, banging into it. She was like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh boy. The last but the not least, looks like we gotta twist this out of the way. It's kind of an awkward, definitely an awkward one. We're gonna put them all in. We're doing it. We're going for it. Want Angelina Jolie to be happy. Et voila. All right. This bad boy is done deal, set up. Slide this back in. Put this nose back down. We're done. Boom. Very last thing to do is the prop. Really simple. There's a nut here. Kind of just slot this bad boy all the way in. Okay. And then tighten down the nut, holding it against the prop. I have this right here to kind of give me a nice firm grip. And tighten that all the way down. There's a lot of power on this, so just make sure it's like really on there. And then we're just gonna put the nose cone on. That center's on. Yep. And screwed in, and we're done. And voila. Assemble complete. Guys, I really hope you liked that video. I hope this helps you put together your plane. It wasn't that easy, but you know, follow the steps, follow the manual, learn from my mistakes hopefully, and you'll be all right. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.